Battlefield 6 Redsec's been out for about, what, a week and a half now? I mean, it's had a bit of time to marinate, and I've had a bit of time to put in a, ungodly amount of hours into it, okay? So what's going on, Sly? And basically, today I just wanted to go over my initial impression of Battlefield 6 Redsec, or Battlefield Redsec, whatever you want to call it. The free component, the BR component to Battlefield 6. We're not going to be talking about Battlefield 6, just Redsec in this video. Anyway, I have some notes here on my phone, so I got something to go off of. So I'm not rambling for 92 hours. Video's still probably going to be pretty long. So first I want to go over the pros, because, you know, like the things I like about the game, because it's a little easier, a little quicker, and I don't want to start the video off negatively, okay? We're going to start with the pros. First thing, the map is beautiful. This is probably one of the best looking BR maps I've seen in a long time, because here's the thing. With Warzone, and I've played a lot of BRs, so I'm not just going to compare it to Warzone, even though it's the one it's most similar to. With Warzone, or H1Z1, if you played that, I know it's a bit of an older BR, but if you played that. With PUBG, Fortnite, with Apex Legends, the other BR made by EA, but made by Respawn, not DICE. Out of all of those games, and then including this one too, I'd say the best looking BR map, vibrancy-wise, visually, has to be the Redsec map. Fort Linden, I think is what it's called. It looks really good. Because, like, Rebirth Island can look really good. Fortune's Keep can look really good. Verdansk and stuff like that can look really good. But with filters, with, like, correction on your monitor or in your editing software or via the NVIDIA filters you can put on your game if you're playing on PC. That's what makes those maps look really good. This one, without any sort of upped saturation or anything, looks really good. Obviously, in my videos, I up the saturation. That's just what I've always done. But even without the saturation upped, the map looks beautiful. Stunning, okay? It's pretty beautiful. Then this next thing's going to tie into sort of what I'm going to talk about later. All the weapons seem pretty viable off of the ground. The only time I've picked up a weapon where it wasn't really, like, too good off the ground was, like, some of the DMRs. Because some of them have terrible sights. And also the TR7, I think it's called, or the TR2. That one, it's still viable. It just has usually a terrible sight on it and some ridiculous recoil, if I'm being honest with you. But you have these upgrade kits, which I think is a great addition to a BR. It's kind of like attachments in Blackout or attachments in like PUBG, or also I think H1Z1 also had attachment system. It's been a long time since I played that game, so I can't remember everything about it. But they're upgrade kits, so you can upgrade it for like to be more versatile, to have more recoil control, to just have more ammo and mobility. And then you also get to like pick the sight you want on it if it doesn't have a sight on it already. It's a pretty good system, and I'm not gonna lie, you can win a game with just ground loot weapons, as a matter of fact. You don't have to have your custom weapons, which again I'll talk about later, but it's you can win off ground loot if you upgrade your weapons. The visibility is also good almost all the time. There's certain areas where there is like smoke coming off of a downed plane or something like that, and it makes the visibility terrible for you on the one side of the plane, but the other guy on the other side of the plane can see you perfectly through the smoke. It's a little inconsistent, okay, but the visibility at 90% of the time, I want to say, not like 99, but 90% of the time is really good. It's only that 10% of the time that the visibility is sometimes a little bad. Not atrocious, just a little bad, you know? And in the other player's favor, or in your favor, of course. There's also custom weapon drops. It's kind of like their answer to loadouts from Warzone. They're called custom weapon drops, and you can pick out of all of your weapons you have favorited inside of the little, like, menus. You can pick out of those weapons, the ones you have actually favorited. I think they're a pretty good addition. I know some people want them removed, and I think that the game would flow fine if you remove them. As a matter of fact, they'd probably flow, I want to say a little better, but it also might flow a little worse, just because some people might not be as confident with ground loot weapons and not being able to use their exact weapon, you know? So they might play a little slower and more campy than they already do, because it's a BR. But the custom weapon drops are really good, because I can go over to one and pick out my sniper, or pick out my KTS, or my RPK, and pick out my SL9 or my MP5, and then fry a lobby with those. I know it's Battlefield, you guys don't like to hear this. Meta weapons, they are the meta, okay? Certain DMRs, and the KTS, and the RPK, and the MP5, and the SL9, and even the M4, and almost all the snipers, those are meta weapons. It's a pretty big meta pool, but they're still meta, okay? There's a meta in every game you play. Even if the game doesn't require, like, shooting, there's still a meta in, like, FIFA or something, like a move that's better, okay? I think the custom weapon drops are good and well balanced, but not the be all end all like in Warzone, where I drop in, I get some kills, do some contracts, get a key card or just get enough cash, buy my loadout, get my loadout, fry the whole lobby with the literal best meta weapons min-maxed perfectly, okay? I think that's good for the longevity and the health of the game, the fact that that is not the be all end all. The weapon drops are good, but you can win and outgun some of the weapon drops with ground loot, because you can find all the meta weapons on the ground. The class system too, I think, feels good and does work well, and you can tell the difference between like engineer to assault to recon to support. But I like the fact that it's not so important like in a BR like Apex Legends, okay? Apex Legends, you have to have one of this, one of that, one of this, you know? You gotta have these specific characters that fill these specific roles, as where in Redsec it feels like it's a little more casual, okay? You can literally run all support and win, all recon and win, all assault and win, all engineer and win, you know? You can run just all the exact same class and win. Obviously, it is encouraged that you run different classes, like one recon, one assault, one engineer, and one support, but it's not necessary, and I like the freedom to have all of us running support. If someone else is running support, I can still run support. I don't have to feel like, oh, well, I just made our team kind of worse and now we're just going to lose, you know? Now, that was my pros. Those are the things I absolutely love about the game. I know I kind of flew through those a little bit quicker, but that's because there's not really an explanation as to why I like those things. I gave you the explanation with the few words I said about each topic, okay? The game is good. I'll say that right now. I like it. There are some changes that could be made to make it a bit better, though, and a little bit more longevity if it wants to compete with, like, Warzone, Apex Legends, Fortnite, PUBG. I don't know too many people that still play PUBG, but we'll count it PUBG, you know. If it wants to compete with those games, these are the things that they could change. Not to make them exactly like Warzone or Apex or Fortnite or something, but still make them just better overall. I just want to say that, okay? Better overall. I know I post a lot of Call of Duty. I play a lot of Call of Duty. But I'm not trying to make Redsec like Call of Duty. These are just criticisms. You can take them however you want. These are my personal criticisms and things I've heard other people, not even Call of Duty players, say aren't their favorite about Redsec. Now, disclaimer out of the way, I'm going to go into it, okay? First thing, and I have heard multiple people agree with this and multiple people disagree, so it's kind of like 50-50, okay? The tanks are way too easy to get. I'm talking, you can get a vehicle keycard. It's not extremely common. It is kind of rare, but you can get a vehicle keycard from a crate, a normal crate. And then you can go over to one of the, like, it feels like 50 vehicle, like, tank crates around the map. And just get a tank. And then if you have good engineers and you have good tank placement and good map knowledge, you win the game. Teams can get multiple tanks. You know how busted it is to be in the final circle and go up against a team that has 3 to 4 tanks? 2 tanks is bad enough. 3 to 4 tanks? What am I supposed to do with that? Call in an artillery strike and just pray that it hits all 4? Like, it's a little busted. I think what they could do is put, like, 3 or 4 tanks around the map and have it be like an event, sort of. Like Juggernauts back in OG Warzone, okay? If you remember those, people could have a full squad of Juggernauts on Rebirth. It was bad enough on Verdansk. On Rebirth, you could have that. You know how busted it was? That's how the tanks are kind of feeling right now. They are pretty easy to destroy, but if there's 4 tanks, you're cooked. And then pair that with a different problem I'm going to mention later, you're doubly cooked, okay? So I think if we had 3 or 4 tanks and made it sort of like an event that's marked on the map and everybody knows where they are, I think that would make it a bit better. You have to, like, drop in, put in a code or something, or just get the key card and then find the tank, and there's only 3 or 4 around the map. I think that would be great. You could even balance it by, like, giving them unlimited ammo if you want, because right now they have limited ammo. You'd even give them unlimited ammo if you want. Just keep them at the same health, and make it so you can only have 3 or 4 around the map, and on top of that, make it so only one team can have one, bro. Not this one team has multiple tanks. I don't know how you would do that, but just please. Please, bro. It is painful dying to one. Fun to use, but painful dying to one, bro. This is the problem I was talking about before. The audio is whack. It is probably some of the most inconsistent audio, and Call of Duty has had audio problems for years. For years. The audio in Redsec has to be some of the most inconsistent audio I have had in any game. Like any game, if I'm being honest with you. My teammates' footsteps are sounding like they're wearing clodhoppers running around, and the enemy's footsteps sometimes sounds like they're ninjas wearing socks walking on carpet. I can't hear them. And I have seen multiple clips and had it happen to me and my squad where a tank rolled up behind us. We couldn't hear him. I turned around and just yelled, "Oh shit, tank," and we all got ran over because we just couldn't hear the tank. I can't hear a tank? A piece of heavy equipment rolling across dirt. My God, can't hear that? Do I need to turn my hearing aids up or something? Is that in the, like, audio settings? Hearing aids on your operator? Can you turn them up or something? Like, the audio is a problem. I don't know too many people who would say it's not a problem. I don't want it to be extremely loud, so I always can just depend on audio. But man, you gotta make it so I can at least hear footsteps all the time. They don't need to be loud, but at least let them be something I can hear if I just really go quiet and try to hear them, okay? Plates are also something that's very sparse and far in between inside of Redsec as well. I know you get one guaranteed plate from any enemy you kill, but that's one plate. If you're playing quads and you're all fighting a team and you kill the other team, but they cracked you all and you all have no plates, your whole team now has 4 plates. If the enemy team also had no plates, 4 plates to split between 4 people. We all have 1 plate. We're melted the next time we get into a gunfight. Now, there are things like the back of ambulances and security vans and police vehicles you can open to find plates and stuff like that. And obviously, a lot of the crates do have plates in them too, but not every crate, which is a problem. I need every crate to have at least 1 plate, please. Or you could add something like, I don't know, a plate box on assault or support or something, where you can drop it down and each teammate gets a guaranteed 2 plates. Doesn't even need to be anything crazy. It's guaranteed 2 plates, so you can be full plated, okay? Please. Something like that, because the plate problem is so bad. Every time I'm in a fight, all I hear from my teammates are, "Hey man, can you drop me a plate? Anyone got plates? I need plates. I have no plates. Please, I need plates." Like, bro, the plate problem is crazy. We just need to fix it a little bit. I'm not saying make it like COD where I can have a plate carrier with 8 plates on every single operator, not just support, and every enemy drops 50 plates and the plate boxes are just spawning rapidly and they have 90 plates in them. I'm not saying anything like that. Just, please. It's the same problem with, like, Blackout, for instance. Blackout, you would get into a gunfight, you would kill the guy, and in the scenario where you kill him, he cracked your plate carrier and you cracked his. So now you have no plates, but you won the gunfight, so you kind of get discouraged to take fair gunfights and more encouraged to take these, like, really ratty gunfights where you're on top of, like, a mountain and your enemy's down in, like, the boonies, you know? It's just not a good feeling, man. For people that play a little more aggressive, you can't play as aggressive in Warzone, and I'm aware of that, but it's such a bad feeling for people that want to play a little more aggressive. It's just such a bad feeling. Also, plating is a bit slow as well. This is one I'm not too crazy on. It doesn't need to be changed for me to continue playing. I'll continue playing even with all these problems I've listed, just probably not as often. But this one isn't the world's biggest issue, but it's still an issue, okay? It's not the world's biggest, but it's still an issue. Plating is really slow. Even on Assault, where you get a 33% bonus, you plate 33% faster, it's still slow. Plating is still slow, man. It feels like my guy's sitting there, fully grown man, by the way. Fully grown man, trained soldier, trained to put plates into his plate carrier. Or grown woman, whatever. Sitting there, pulling the plate out, putting it here, and then having to use the might of Zeus to just pull it down into the plate carrier. That's a little crazy to me. And I gotta do that twice. Mid-gunfight. Mid-gunfight, I gotta do that twice. Not once, twice. You can't win against multiple people. I'm not saying it should be easy to win against multiple people. You should have to use, like, some movement, run around in and out of buildings and stuff like that. But plating? It needs to just be a little bit faster. I think what Assault plates at should be, like, the default plate speed. And then Assault should be a little crazier, I guess. You know, a little faster for plating. He puts that shit in, like, you know? Something like that. Again, this doesn't need to be changed. I'm not saying it has to be changed, okay? And don't flame me. I know it's already coming. You're trying to make it like Warzone. No. But these games take stuff from all these different games, like Fortnite added in the reboot van because Warzone had this system where you could buy your teammates back. So they had reboot cards you could pick up, and then you could redeploy your teammate. And then I think Apex was the last one out of the big 3 BRs currently to add that in, right? they take things all from each other. And I think that's good, because it makes all these games better. They're like, hey, that developer studio did that. That was really good. Their community liked it. We'll put that into our game. And then the community likes it. And then you all get a better game. I don't see the problem with it. I don't see the problem with it. Playing just needs to be a bit faster. Just a bit, please. I'll continue playing if it's not. I'm just very passionate because I like the game, okay? Next thing, some of the buildings and some of the geometry are flat out glitched. Some of the buildings in Ground Zero, you can jump through a full wall. And I've killed people. I don't know if I have it clipped. I'll put it into the video if I do. I literally was in mid gunfight, jumped through the wall, played it up, jumped back through the wall. He didn't know you could do that, and then killed him. That is crazy. And then also in Ground Zero, in some of the buildings, you can't shoot through the windows, even though you can see the guy, because it acts like there's a rock in the way, but there isn't. I've never seen a rock there, no matter who I've watched fight in this building I'm talking about. I've never seen a rock there, so it's literally just an invisible barrier you can't shoot through, but you can see people through. And it just makes gunfights feel not too balanced and pretty janky in that area of the map. Luckily, this isn't a problem in multiple areas of the map. I've only ever seen it in the Ground Zero area of the map, but it needs to be fixed. Now, I'm sure they're gonna fix it. Just something I wanted to bring up. Also, like I said before, I think the game's really balanced. However, I would like to see ARs maybe make their way a little bit more into the medium, not so much long range, but medium range meta at least. Because right now, LMGs, DMRs, and snipers are dominating the medium to long range meta. It's just, that's all you use at medium to long range. Everybody's loadouts are either a sniper and an M4 or an SMG, but usually a sniper and an M4 or an LMG like the KTS or the RPK or the DRS with an SMG or M4. And then sometimes there's people run like DMRs like the SVD or the M39 or whatever it's called and an SMG or the M4. Again, it's not the biggest thing, but I would just like to see a more well-rounded meta where you can use any gun you want and still beat someone who's decent at the game and using a LMG, you know, while using the M433 or the Cord or something like that, you know? And the final sort of thing that I actually have written down here is pinging doesn't work sometimes. I will be pinging enemies, and I'll be like, hey, there's a guy, I tagged him on this ping. Like, on my 1 ping, or my 4 ping, whatever number I am on the squad. And everybody will go, fuck you talking about that ping, bro? What ping? There's no ping there. What are you talking about? Or if there's multiple people that have green pings, I'll be like, we should go here on my ping. They'll be like, what one's your ping? Because we're all the exact same color. I feel like it would be nice if I could have the ability to change each squad mate's color, not just the whole squad color, you know? I think that would be a little bit nice. And then, obviously, the ping system working better and being fixed, which, again, they probably have a solution coming to that. They've been really good and on top of issues, which is why I'm giving a video like this, like, feedback. Because the more feedback we give as a community, the more they change stuff, and the better the game gets, and the more fun everybody has, you know? Now, with all of that being said, I think my overall impression of Redsec is I do like it, and I think I will continue playing it even after BO7 comes out, and I'm done the camo grind on that, and then the Warzone camo grind, and I'm done that. I think I'll probably, you know, switch up between, hey, you guys want to hop on Warzone, or if we're not feeling that and we still want to play BR, hey, you guys want to hop on Redsec, because I've been having fun with it. I've been dropping a few, you know, 20, 25 bombs, getting a few wins. It's been really fun, honestly. And once again, I don't want the game to be more like Call of Duty. I just want it to be better. All my criticisms weren't to make it more like Call of Duty, even if it may seem like that. It was just to make it better and more fun for everyone, you know? But yeah, I've definitely been having a bunch of fun, and I think even if only like 2 of the issues I brought up get fixed, I think the game will be good, and I'll still continue playing it, to be honest with you. And yeah, that was my impressions of Redsec after the last like a week and a half or so of playing it, and yeah, it's been Sly. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Peace.